And as we get straight back into it, skipping past TNA and fast forward into the next week on NXT, we actually skip past the first week of the Great American Bash because Ethan is headlining the first week, I believe, defending his North American title against Tony D'Angelo. But as we move on to TNA, Jonny One again won his pound of flesh. Just tired of all the disrespect. If you were here last episode, Jonny One is tired of all the disrespect he's been getting since landing in WWE slash TNA. You know, he hasn't been here to make friends, but that doesn't necessarily mean he was here to make enemies. But becoming a champion in the sport of wrestling, that's all you will do. And Karrion Kross is the newest addition to that enemies list. And as we skip through Karrion Kross's entrance and get straight into the match, Jonny One blasts out the corner with a trick shot straight to Karrion Kross as he goes for the cover. Not even a one count. Karrion Kross, I can honestly say, maybe the only one. It just does not make sense as to why he targeted Jonny One. Like, I can understand, you know, if you want to be a champion, but Karrion Kross was just recently released from WWE, actually. And him showing up here in TNA was just a complete surprise. Not only to me, social media, everyone watching, all the fans in the stands. You know, it just was a complete surprise last week. Not only seeing him here in TNA, but to see him targeting Jonny One. And I mean, I guess, you know, you go after the biggest dog in the yard. And Jonny One is the biggest dog in the yard, being, you know, TNA World Champion. He has been for about, 2 months now? Or a month and some change. So I understand it, you know, this your way about going into a match, but this is everything Jonny One was talking about. He's tired of people trying to bully their way into matches when they don't have to. It's really simple to just come in and ask for a match. You know, you want a match, I'm a fighting champion. I pride myself on being the workhorse. If I'm Jonny One, I'll give you a match. You know, it's just that simple. All the sneak attacks and, you know, all the running up from behind, interfering in matches is really pissing Jonny One off, and you can tell. He's approaching, even just approaching his in-ring, you know, performance is different. And it seems like he's always watching over his shoulder. He's a lot more like, I don't know, just aggressive. It seems like he tries to come out and just get the match over as fast as possible now, instead of trying to give the fans a really good show like he tried to do usually, or before, when he first got here, I should say. When he first became champion, it seems like it's starting to weigh on him now. You know, it seems like, you know, I heard John Cena once say, you know, every day you hold the title, it gets heavier, and it seems like it's starting to finally get heavier, and Jonny One is finally starting to feel that weight. And it could be pun intended, no pun intended, maybe, because he's double champion now, so he's feeling double the weight, double the pressure. The target on his back is double or twice as big, you know, than before. You know, being TNA World Champ puts a target on your back, but that's only for TNA. Him becoming double champ at Heatwave, now he has wrestlers, men from 2 different brands, you know, just gunning for him and wanting to be in his spot. Wanting to, you know, take Jonny One out and prove that, you know, they're the best and that they're better than him and that they can, you know, lead, whether it's TNA or NXT, into the future better than he can. You know, and it's like, I don't blame Karrion Kross as we get a trick shot into the big Johnny Rana. I don't blame Karrion Kross for trying to come out here, you know, and make a name for himself and establish himself in TNA off the rip, and I understand that, as Jonny One sets up GTS into Uno's Revenge as we get the slow count from the ref. 1, 2, kick out at 2 by Kross. A lot more people have been kicking out of that Uno's Revenge lately as well. So it's actually a little crazy to see as we get the reversal by Kross that sends Johnny Uno to the outside. Big left hand by Kross. Kross coming on the outside, and it looks like he's setting up for a big back suplex on the apron, completely shattering Jonny One's spine. You know, and Karrion Kross is just out here trying to do what he can for himself. Like I said, he was just released by WWE, and he showed up last week on TNA. Literally, out of nowhere, out of the darkness, literally, and just laid one of the worst choke slams I've ever seen, might I add, to Jonny One. Not his fault. I blame the game's animations. Whoever did that choke slam, in 2K Labs or whatever you call it. Horrible. But nonetheless, the impact was felt. Big Doomsday Saito suplex on the ground, out on the floor. Jonny One with a reversal as Kross was measuring his man into a dragon screw. Jonny One gets back into the ring to break that count. Did a little weird, but he did it. Jump springboard, misses everything. Kross takes advantage. And Kross has looked really good out here, I have to admit. It's been a back and forth match, and Kross is getting his stuff off. I can admit that. Not a lot of people, are able to come out here and go toe to toe with Jonny One, even though he's relatively young. He's a relatively young superstar, and he's also relatively new, not only to WWE, definitely to WWE, but to the wrestling scene as well. He's a student of the game, but Jonny One, I only know of 4 matches he's had before getting here, but I think the bigger number is about 8 or 9 matches. I think he's only had 9 matches before he landed in WWE, as he's setting up GTS into that big Johnny. No, I'm sorry, into that Uno's Revenge. 1, 2, 3, as Johnny Uno knocks off Karrion Kross. Big win tonight from Johnny Uno, putting down the man who attacked him just last week. Johnny Uno out here, just trying to make a name for himself as we skip past TNA and as we head on into our final TNA pay-per-view, I believe, of the year. Unless I'm going to put more in there, I don't know. But Slammiversary, we have Jonny One versus Karrion Kross for the TNA World title and a special guest referee match. And your special guest referee is none other than the man, the myth, the hardcore legend, Tommy Dreamer. ECW forever. Tommy Dreamer is here because after his win against Kross, Tommy Dreamer is just like he knows it's not gonna be finished here. Tommy Dreamer knows better. He knows Kross. Tommy Dreamer has known Kross for a very long time, and he just knows Kross isn't gonna take his loss lying down. And Tommy Dreamer advised Santino. He knew Santino was gonna give Kross this match at Slammiversary, because Jonny Uno also wanted this match, because Jonny Uno just wants it to be over. He knows, you wanted the title match, but you didn't beat me, so you shouldn't get it, but I'll give it to you. And Tommy Dreamer said, you know what? We're going to put me here. I'm going to ref this thing, and I'm going to make sure it's called down the middle. I'm going to make sure the future of NXT is in the right hands. I'm going to make sure the better man wins, of course. And Jonny Uno coming out in that mask. The last time we saw that mask, Jonny Uno lost a triple threat match. His TNA title and triple threat match to Trick Williams. Just a little bit of lore as we get ready to get into this TNA World title match here at Slammiversary in our main event. Jonny One, aka Jonny Uno, against the Devil You Know, aka Karrion Kross. And after that chokeslam last week, Karrion Kross told everyone, TikTok, TikTok Jonny Uno. You don't have that much time left. Your time is coming up, as Jonny Uno runs straight into that big trick shot, blasting Kross, coming straight out of his corner. Jonny One into a big combo, not here to play games, as he's looking for a big Liger Bomb. 1, 2, not even a 2 count. Tommy was a little slow on that count, if you ask me. But he's not a ref. It's not his original profession as Kross. With a reversal, sends Jonny Uno into the corner. Jonny Uno with a reversal of his own out of that corner. Big, flip off of Kross's chest. Very Will Ospreay-like into a big knee, it seemed like. Big Northside Kiss reverse. Karrion Kross into the small package. 1. He got at 1 by Jonny Uno, as Kross takes advantage. Kross is just here. Kross says he's here. Kross isn't even here to win titles. And that's what's so crazy about it. Kross is just here. He says he's just here to make an impact. He says he's just here to show everyone, that everything isn't always what it seems. As Jonny One with that big suicide dive. He's tired of Kross is tired of these wrestlers lying to themselves. He's tired of Jonny Uno lying to himself. Jonny Uno always talks about how he respects wrestling. He respects the Bullet Club. He respects this person, that person. All he wants is respect. But Kross doesn't think Jonny Uno has shown any respect since he's been here. He says Jonny Uno came here, he won the TNA title, and just started calling himself the king. He doesn't think Jonny Uno is the king of anything, but changing his gear every 2 days, 3 days. And that's Kross's words, not mine. Jonny Uno's the king of the mall, says Karrion Kross. He's the king of the mall, king of the little boy section of the mall. Because he's small. It was like a little joke, I guess, but Kross is tired of it. Kross is tired of Jonny Uno lying to himself as Kross goes for the pin using the ropes. But the ref, Tommy Dreamer, sees it and stops that count. Great call by Tommy Dreamer. Kross isn't sold on Jonny Uno. As Kross with that big kick out at 1 by Jonny Uno. I couldn't even get it out before Jonny Uno kicked out. Kross measured his man. And he's just sick of the praise. Even though it's weird because Jonny Uno doesn't get a lot of praise. There's a lot more people who don't like Jonny Uno than there are who do. I can't think of, other than Nicholas and Matthew Jackson, I can't think of any friends Jonny Uno really has. He's had the one tag match with Trick Williams. We know how that ended. His only other tag partners have been the Young Bucks. Can't think of any other friends Jonny Uno has. He isn't fully accepted by all the members of the Bullet Club because, like the story with AJ Styles and Carl Anderson, Big Gallows, they felt Jonny Uno was perpetrating. They thought he was faking. They felt like he was, making fun of the Bullet Club, seeing as though he was never fully he was never given an invitation properly. Big reversal by Jonny Uno into the big boot, sends Kross packing. Jonny Uno, speaking of the Bullet Club, speaking of AJ Styles, clash onto Karrion Kross, and for the 1, 2, kick out at 2 by Karrion Kross, and Jonny Uno cannot believe it. And just to get back to what I was saying, he's sick of just all the disrespect, and he's trying to earn the respect from his peers, and Kross isn't sold as Jonny Uno sets up for a big Uno Steiner. And you know what's next. You know what he's setting up. Trying to put the devil away. Arriba Dirce. 1, 2, kick out at 2 by Kross. And Kross is not going to go away that easily. After all the smack he's been talking about Jonny One with that big 630, big 630 splash. Shades of Vikingo, the man that beat him. Kick out at 2 by Kross. Shades of Vikingo, the man that beat him at Worlds Collide via countout. Big 630 splash. What he's setting up here. Hidden Blade. Oh my God, Jonny Uno pulling out all the stops. Big Hidden Blade to Karrion Kross. And now Jonny Uno with a big stomp to the chest of Kross. Jonny Uno is not taking Kross lightly, and he's also not respecting any of the things he's heard from Kross. As Jonny Uno with a reversal as Kross trying to take control. Jonny Uno going up top. Misses everything. Let's just call it a stamina cancel. Big suicide dive to the outside as Kross tried to escape. Jonny Uno now takes control. In this special guest referee match, I gotta say, Tommy Dreamer has been doing a decent job calling it down the middle. Jonny Uno, big coffin drop onto Karrion Kross. Shades of another one of Johnny's favorite wrestlers, Darby Allin. Kross with another small package. 1, kick out at 1 by Uno. And Kross just looking to finish the job here. Kross looking to back up everything he said. Jonny Uno's nothing but an entrance merchant, nothing but a gear merchant. Reversal by Jonny Uno as he misses the big single leg drop kick off the chest of Kross, and Kross just clobbering the back of the head and neck of Johnny Uno. Kross looking to back up everything he said. Johnny Uno here looking to prove him wrong. Kross setting up for a big power bomb. Johnny Uno's hurt. Johnny Uno is in pain. The champ is feeling it. Kross with a big Doomsday Saito suplex. And that has to be it. That has to be it for the champ. 1, 2, kick out at 2. Karrion Kross is working Johnny Uno. Kross looking for a sleeper. Kross looking for a sleeper with Johnny Uno fighting. Can he get out of it? Johnny Uno looking to get out of that sleeper. Big elbow gets him out of the sleeper hold. Johnny Uno looking for that trick shot into the Johnny Rana. Johnny Uno setting up. We can see it again. Johnny Uno setting up for that big hidden blade. Shades of Will Ospreay. One of the men he fought in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And one of the 2 matches that he actually had there. 5-star classic in my opinion. Kross with a reversal. Johnny Uno with another reversal of his own. Big kicks. Left hand. Johnny Uno setting up Kross. Johnny Uno hits Kross with his own finish into the cover. 1, 2, 3. He just beat Kross with his own finisher to retain the TNA World Championship. Johnny Uno, what a match by Johnny Uno and Karrion Kross, but Johnny Uno on top still, your TNA champ. As we fast forward into the second week of the Great American Bash, we have Obafemi, your number 1 contender after beating Wes Lee just last week, I believe, on NXT, or the week before. Your number 1 contender facing off against the champ, Johnny Uno, the double champ. And tonight, your double champ donned in that red, white, and blue for the Great American Bash, and he's actually out here with that vintage NXT championship with the red and the blue in honor of it being the Great American Bash. I was actually told earlier tonight he was gifted that by Shawn Michaels, wanting Johnny Uno, knowing Johnny Uno loving the gear and loving the, match the gear with the occasion. He felt the championship should also match the occasion. So Shawn Michaels, who's also a big fan of Johnny Uno, gifted Johnny Uno that vintage NXT 2.0 championship to come out with and defend against Oba. Winner leaves with that tonight. As we look to get straight into this title match, straight into this championship match, this highly anticipated championship match, if I do say so myself. Obafemi, who has been on top of his game up until losing the NXT title to Wes Lee, and never got his rematch as Johnny Uno blasts out of the corner with a single leg dropkick, backflipping off of Obafemi, and we get back to the graps. Obafemi technically never got his rematch. This is technically his rematch, but he never got his rematch against Wes Lee. But Wes Lee also has not gotten his rematch against Johnny Uno, which could be why we saw Wes Lee feel the need as Johnny Uno goes for a Styles Clash early. The strength of Johnny Uno. 1. Kick out at 1 by the ruler, Obafemi, and Johnny One just can't believe it. Oba is a monster, and it's going to take a lot more than that, Uno. Definitely got to take a lot more than that if you're not familiar with the ruler. But Wes Lee also never got his rematch against Johnny Uno after losing the NXT Championship to Johnny Uno, which could be why Wes Lee felt the need 2 weeks ago on NXT to, interfere in Johnny Uno's match against Tony D'Angelo and try to cost him the match as Obafemi reverses Johnny Uno from the Bulldog. Obafemi here now getting his shot. And but Wes never got his shot, so I do think like Oba earned it. It was a fair shake. The two guys who never got their rematch were able to kind of go against each other for that rematch. And Oba came out on top as Johnny Uno goes for that big suicide dive. floors Oba on the outside. You know, as they both never technically got their rematch. Oba earned this shot, but they both had the opportunity to be here, and Oba came out on top. So, you know, I can't take that away from Oba. You know, I feel for West though. I do feel for West, and I kind of understand as we get the stamina cancel from the reversal. I kind of understand, you know, West's, I guess his mindset, his thinking, you know, his mentality in interfering in Johnny Uno's match a couple nights ago or a week ago, 2 weeks ago on NXT against Tony D'Angelo. I kind of understand that now, looking back at it, as Johnny Uno misses everything, looking for that super kick party, looking to get things started as he reverses Obafemi. Johnny Uno with a super kick into Uno's revenge. One. He got that one by Oba, and Johnny Uno can't believe it. He caught the ruler by surprise with that super kick, taking him right into Uno's revenge, but it just wasn't enough. It's too early in this match. It's going to take a lot more than that to take the ruler out. I don't know if Johnny Uno is very familiar with Obafemi. This is the first time we get to see them go one-on-one in action as Johnny Uno into that trick shot, into that big Johnny Rana. As Johnny Uno is looking to finish this match. Big 5-star frog splash as Johnny Uno crawls into the cover. 1, 2, kick out at 2.5 by Obafemi, and he's still in it. Oba looking to regain his NXT title that he lost to Wes Lee back at Battleground the same night that Johnny Uno won a number 1 contenders Iron Survivors gauntlet match to become the number 1 contender and fight Wes Lee at Heatwave. What a powerbomb. The ruler kick out at 1. And Johnny Uno letting the ruler know it's not going to be easy. The ruler's setting him up. Set him up though. The ruler's staying on top of it. Johnny Uno with a reversal. Big left, right foot again, left hand. Into that sweep, into that big senton by Johnny Uno. Johnny Uno's fired up. Johnny Uno looking to end it. Oba with a big reversal as Johnny Uno was setting up for that Uno Steiner, I believe. Obafemi, big European uppercut into that corner. Floors Johnny Uno. Oba, the big man going up top. The ruler going up top. What could be set up for? Big elbow drop. Misses the mark as Johnny Uno is just a little too fast for Oba. Oba, again, not letting Johnny set up for that Uno Steiner is what it looked like he's going for. Johnny Uno with a reversal of his own. Big drop kick off the chest into a spear. Johnny Uno. 1, 2. Pick out at 2 by Obafemi, and I can't believe it. Johnny Uno cannot believe it. Everyone's just been kicking out of everything. Kicking out of spears. Kicking out of Uno's revenge. Johnny Uno was just done with it. He can't understand it. Johnny Uno, what he's looking for here? Big twist of fate from off the fucking top rope. I can't believe it. Excuse my language. What a match. Johnny Uno, big stop to the chest of Obafemi. Johnny Uno pulling out all the stops in this championship match here at Great American Bash. Looks for the GTS. Set him up. Uno's revenge. 1, 2, 3. And still, your NXT champion. Johnny One. Johnny Uno, your TNA World Champion, NXT champ. Still double champ. Proving he still got it. Proving he's still the best. Beating Obafemi, besting Obafemi in a great match. What's next for Johnny One? Find out next week on NXT.